Hey, welcome to Auckland, New Zealand. It's father time. If you look down in the bottom corner down there, where my pipper is, you see my face just prior to my retirement flight from American Airlines 4 weeks ago. Newly retired captain on the 777. And now I'm flying the 78-10. But if you would click on that little symbol there with my face, standing outside my airplane just prior to my flight, is a retirement video on my webpage. It's kind of fun too if you want to watch it. You can subscribe. Really would appreciate it. As of this morning, we had about 1,140 subscribers, on our way to 7 million if I live that long. Now we're just trying to make steady progress. I got a little flashier introduction that you just saw. That's brand new. You're the first ones to see that one. And I'm trying to appeal more to the people who tune in for the entertainment versus learning something. I tend to be more instructional versus entertaining or sensational. A little bit of humor is blended in there. Dad humor. I'm a 65-year-old guy, so, you know, I'm only as good as I can be. I have a lot of kids, a lot of grandkids that kind of keep me in check, but, you know. Look how far they have us out on the runway. All that displaced runway. Anyway, we should be fine. I got max power set. TO2 was slightly reduced. Let me talk to you about the flight today. Why am I doing this? Well, I am going from Auckland, New Zealand, flying down the beautiful country of New Zealand, absolutely spectacular, through this mountainous terrain to land at Queenstown. We're going to do a descent and a star through mountainous terrain to a 6,000-foot runway and an RNAV approach with some little bit of weather. I'm going to talk about the procedures on the 787, which pretty much apply to all the Boeing products, and we'll get ourselves down and try to see if we can do a beautiful landing on a 6,000-foot runway. This, you would obviously not dispatch Air New Zealand flight to Queenstown in a 787. It would be more like, I think they fly A320s down there. But this airplane is capable of getting in there and landing if Captain Marvel here can do a good job. So let's do that. Let's talk about mountainous terrain. We'll talk about stars. We'll talk about RNAV approaches, short field landings, and then I'm going to try to test out my new handy dandy flight control replay and play you back the landing. I also have Volanta going, where if I think about it, I can rate the touchdown. I'm not going to probably be a greaser unless I get lucky, because we're going to put this bad boy down today. The box is loaded right here. NZAA, if you want to know the procedures, I have a video on the procedures for loading the new 787-10 sim brief link. And we just looked at the sim brief flight plan, flying with the flight level 360. Got about an hour 36 in cruise, so we'll brief up the approach on climb out. We'll let Bob fly. Oh, Bob, you guys know Bob. If you haven't been with me, I've been at this flight sim thing around 6 or 7 months. Bob has been my FO the whole time. He's extremely quiet. Bob, you have anything to say, buddy? It's pretty much what you get out of Bob, guys. There's not a lot coming out of the right seat. He's not very helpful with any of this stuff. Pretty much going to do everything myself. But he's a lovely man. Yep, he's a lovely guy, and he's about the same on a layover. I got to tell you, I'm sorry, brother. You know that's true, right? But anyway, let's go back in here. Let's do the checklist, and we'll get out of here. We'll brief the approach and arrival en route. So let's go down. We'll get Bob running the checklist for me. Bobby, you mind running the checklist for me? The checklist. Yeah, thanks, man. No, not that one. Down here. There you go. What'd I tell you guys? All right, so normal menu. Pre-flight checklist. We did all that. I just want to do some of this after takeoff. No, that's because we're on the runway, right? So after takeoff is where we'll start, and that's going to be it. Everything else is done. Now I should be on the takeoff page, and Bobby Boy should be on the legs. He doesn't mind me calling him, hey, Bobby Boy. He identifies as Bobby Boy, guys. And we got the flight guidance, the remote control panel all set up. Runway heading, it's going to be an LNAV departure. Climbing to flight level 360, 150 on a knots. My takeoff, my abort. Anything prior to 80 knots, Bobby will execute the abort. Between 80 and V1, if we have an engine failure, fire, overheat, compressor stall, we'll abort. But we're pretty much in the go mode between 80 and V1. We'll take it back around here, and field elevation, cleanup is altitude is going to be around 900 feet. We'll clean it up and come back in here and land. How's that? And you know what I'm noticing, guys, is the altimeter really. Now, normally when you push B, it's 1018. Wow, man. 1018. That's more like it. And this altimeter just mirrors it. Doesn't do. Bob's got it set over there too. Yeah. When you press B, normally it resets the altimeter, but it didn't today. But no big deal. So anyway, Bobby, any questions? Nah, I don't have any questions. All right, man. Let's get in here. Let's get the HUD up. And let's go to Queenstown. Oh, I almost forgot. I bought the Queenstown scenery pack from Inibuilds this morning. Guys, after I hit 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours, I started making a little money here on YouTube. So far, I've made $14.20. This morning, I spent $14. And I decided I'd spin it right back in the operation. I'll have to fly a few trips out of Queenstown. When we get there, we'll take a flight around the airport and see what we see. All right, anyway, I digress. Let's get out of here. Ready, Bob? Yeah, whatever. It's just really nothing. We're not going to have any comms on the way there, guys. And then Air New Zealand, 123 heavy. You're clear for takeoff. Runway 23 left. Clear for takeoff. 23 left. Air New Zealand, 123 heavy. Toga. Centerline, 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 guys. Never give up centerline. I think my trim's a little bit out of whack.
V1.
And rotate right up in the bars. Bobby would have called rotate. I know he would have. How's the rake? You're up. Stay right in the bars. I want to show you something here on the HUD, guys. Look at the bars down here, right? We're pretty much on it. If you try to chase this thing up here, you'll be all over the sky, but extremely accurate. So sometimes this looks like you're going crazy, when in fact, what it is it's just hypersensitive. The bars are rock solid. Is climb power, lower the nose, start getting it cleaned up a little bit. Once we hit the flap 15 bug, we can go flaps 5. This is flaps 15, go flaps 5, over here. We can turn the autopilot on, guys, it's not challenging. Once we hit flaps 5, we can go flaps 1. Flaps 1. And once we hit flaps 1. And Air New Zealand 123 heavy, contact departure 135.8. 135.8, Air New Zealand 123 heavy. I won't even try a New Zealand accent, guys. You don't want to hear that. Every accent I do sounds like an Irishman, which I don't do very well either. Departure, Air New Zealand 123 is out of 3,000, climbing to flight level 360. Roger, American, Air New Zealand 123, find the lever 1 Papa, Carl transition. Find the lever 1 Papa, Carl transition for Air New Zealand 123. You don't say heavy out here. All right, guys, the transition altitude out of here is 13 on the climb. transition, that's climbing the altitude. Transition level, how do you know that? Let's go to the, in here. Oh, that's our route of flight, guys. Nice, it's the arrival. Really nice. But if you go, hope I don't make a liar out of myself, right? Transition altitude 13, so that's on the climb. Level is 15 on the descent. European, sometimes they change that with the ATIS, but US, obviously New Zealand, it's a hard 15 on the descent. So going into Queenstown will be 15 on the descent, be a transition altitude. So before I forget, let's change the descent page. This way you get a warning at the correct altitude. The real airplane, the forecast page, the real airplane, guys, gives you a warning. It knows where you are, so it doesn't. Let me see something. Something I've never tried. Okay, let me go. VNAV, climb forecast. Oh yeah, look at that. Let's put in 13. See if that's where we get the warning. The advisory, rather. Yeah, the real airplane just knows. All right. A couple of little tidbits for you as we get going. So here we are. We're climbing on out. And Air New Zealand 123, contact New Zealand Center, 124.8. 124.8, Air New Zealand 123. Center, New Zealand Center, Air New Zealand 123 is out of 11,000, climbing to flight level 360. Roger, Air New Zealand 123 Heavy, continue with the Lever 1 Papa, Carl transition, climb maintain flight level 360. Lever 1 Papa, Carl transition, flight level 360, Air New Zealand 123 Heavy. See how many times they say American here, guys, right? All right. So out of, we're going to chime these guys. We're out of 10,000 AGL. Sign should have been on. We didn't get that. Chime them. And we'll turn up the lights. All we got to leave on here is the strobes, the nav, and the beacon. Everything else can go off. And Bobby, checklist, brother. What do you got? Checklist. That takeoff check is complete. That's gear and flaps up, that's all. All right, there we were. We're climbing out of 15. I'm gonna go barrow set, standard, cross check, lights are out. After takeoff climb check is now completely complete. So guys, I'm gonna let Bob fly. And I'll let Bob fly. I'm gonna put the HUD away. I'm gonna brief the arrival and the approach. And then we're gonna take a break. I'll go on a little break. We'll come back on just prior to descent. All right? So let's go to Navigraph. Let's go to flight. Queenstown with the new pack, guys. So that's awesome. And we are doing the LRAV. So guys, this is an interesting approach of Star. The reason I'm doing this is one of my subscribers asked me to do a RNAV arrival and approach and all the idiosyncrasies associated with that. So we'll do that. It is critical that you check the approach charts against the arrival. Without having looked in here, I bet there's something wrong. We'll figure it out. I can't tell you how many times, it's usually right, but how many times I've caught things that were wrong. It's not being dramatic, that's the truth. All right, so we are going to go, next page. Start here. LRAV. You see there's nothing at LRAV, right? Let's see. All right. LRAV has no altitudes. EVOX has no altitudes or airspeed. CASL, here we go. Below 17, above 16. NAVGA, above 13. GASPA above 12. AVGR, nothing. And then ASOBO, yeah, see that? That's wrong. That's why you do it. With ASOBO, you got to be at 220 and between 12 and 10. So here's what we're going to do. Let's put that in. That's good. You'll get to see this. 220 knots. 12 or below. 10 or above. That's it. So you got to put the airspeed in. Yes. And that is why you check against the flight plan. There's always something. So we're going to be LNAV, VNAV, descent when we come back. And I'll have us all set up for the approach, the descent. If you get nothing out of this video, that is why you got to be a disciplined pilot and check that stuff. All right, so the arrival is checked, right? Let's check inside. We are climbing through 23 for 36. Bob's doing a great job. He never looks for any credit either. He's a nice guy. He's just quiet. He's quiet. We'll let the people up for a while. Make a little PA. And let them out of their seats. So call back. Tell the flight attendants that we got about an hour until we start our descent. And let's go back in here. Now the arrival. So that's through mountainous terrain, guys. What are we going to do after Batu? The airport's down here. So it's going to be an arcing approach in here, and then a little right-hand turn jig at the end. It's quite spectacular. So here's the approach. RNAV Zulu. RNAV Zulu. Let's make sure we have that in here. It dropped out. I swear I put that in there. So, LRUP 2 Alpha, which is what we wanted. RNAV Zulu. ASOBO transition. X2. You saw it here first. Let's go down here. There was ASOBO, remember? And look what happened. It came out again. So we're going to put in 220/120 or below. I don't think the aircraft would have done that. Now, sometimes it's because it says it wants to descend, but look at it, it's even higher. So that would have busted that altitude. We're going to put that in there. Stop changing it, box. I just told the box to stop changing it. All right, now, here it is. Q577 at or above 10. SARDA, no altitude. That's this part right here. SARDA, that's 92. It doesn't say SARDA, that's what it is. I just know that if I'm looking at it. So TEPIG is 8200. Fanta at or above 71. DBAG at or above 63. MOPCA at or above 55. Mumbo at or above 31. And then this final approach, the RNAV approach. It is critical that at Mumba you put in the missed approach altitude. The missed approach altitude is 10,000. And the reason is, otherwise when you hit your minimums, which today are 2,300, it'll level off and you're messed up. So you want at 3,100, you're going to pass the FAF, cross-check the altimeters, and set a missed approach altitude to 10,000. Otherwise, when it gets down to 2,300, as you do it, the aircraft will level off on autopilot, and you get yourself high. In our company, it's an automatic missed approach. All right. So then this airplane comes in, and we're going into runway 5. You can see it's going to do a little left-hand turn, and provided we'll hit 2,300 somewhere in here. Provided we have put in the, we'll have 2,300 in the window. We put in 10,000 passing a mumbo, it'll descend right down to the runway, giving you good glide path guidance. We'll look at that though. Now we also have to check is the glide path 3.2 degrees and make sure that that is in conjunction with the real glide path. Arc 3.2 degrees. We have to check where the approach ends, and it ends at the runway. Make sure it ends at the runway. We've done that. We also have to go to Prague. Get this though. Prague, page 4. We've got to put in 125 here. Usually you don't do this till you start the approach. Well, today we'll do it. That's to give you the correct guidance on final, set plus or minus 75 feet. This is going to, right now it's a 2-mile required navigational planning. We're at 0.02, that's really good. As we're getting closer, that required navigational planning gets tighter and tighter until finally on final, it's 0.3. Get this on the RNAV. This RNAV is 0.3, so it's a standard RNAV. Anything between 0.3 and 0.11, 0.11 being the minimum, you'd have to put it in. So let's see, it was 0.15. You put that in. Like that. I'm going to delete that for now because ours is 0.3. It assumes 0.3 when you're getting closer. All right? But you'd have to put that in. Also, if you're below 0.3, there's a couple of requirements. You have to get a satellite verification check from dispatch. They can do that either voice, free text, or on the flight plan. Make sure the satellites will be up and running. Remember, these satellites are on loan from the military, so they can turn them down for exercise. We have to know before we descend into the mountains, thinking we have all this guidance. And we have to keep the autopilot coupled on the RNAV RNP until we have the runway in sight. That's what we have to do. Those are some of the idiosyncrasies of flying an approach below 0.3. Let's go back inside. 33 for 36. We got the minimum set 2,300. I already took the liberty of putting that in here before the flight, because it takes forever to load that thing up. That's why I did it. I'm almost done here, guys. Then we'll put the video on freeze while we fly along. And missed approach. Take a look at this missed approach. Big left-hand turn, 10,000 feet in LNAV if we have to go miss. And you fly way out here in Invergill. And I was landing with 16,000 pounds because I found that Microsoft Flight Simulator on SimBrief on the 78-10, the fuel's a little bit off, so I add extra fuel. I would want enough gas to get out of there and divert probably all the way back, going into mountainous terrain. This is a beautiful area. You can't remind me, but 2 things I want to remember to do. I want to remember to start the flight control replay for landing, to play that back. I've got Volanta going to judge the landing. And I also want to fly you around in the drone using my Xbox controller and show you I haven't seen the Inibuilds terminal. Maybe we can fly in the terminal and see what's going on at Queenstown. Anyway. Very cool. Very cool indeed. Looks like it's still in drone mode. I'll give you a little tour of the airplane. There's a volcano up here. Landing gear. Obviously not a developed cockpit. Cargo hold. With that, guys, you can go to your nav page, Prague, first page. We're landing at 23:48. The time is 22:36. An hour, 12 minutes. When are we going to start down? Look at that. Go range all the way out. There it is. Looks like about 380 miles. 80 miles a minute. 8 miles a minute into 400 miles. is about 50 minutes. We'll be starting our descent. We're doing about 8 miles a minute, right? 400 miles, 40 divided by 8 is 50 minutes. So, what time is it? I'll put us on freeze. I hate to ruin the immersion, but I'll go upstairs and get myself a cup of coffee. All right, guys. This is going to be a lot of fun. 6,000 foot runway, RNAV arrival into the mountains with a playback and Malanta. Oh, man, we are having such a good time. All right, going on pause. I'll be back. I just have to show you this. This looks like it's Wakari. Is that right, guys? You guys from that region? I haven't flown over there. I've flown everywhere else, but not that. Look how beautiful that is. We still got about 40 minutes to descend. Let me just get the arrival up here, and I'll show you where we're going here. Star, Elver. We are way up here. And this is Wakari, I do believe. I don't know. Should be down in here somewhere. But I digress, don't I? I digress. We'll be back. Hey, it's Father Time. I'm back. Here we are. We have about 25 minutes to landing, about 4 minutes to descent. We just got cleared by New Zealand approach to fly the L Rule 2 Alpha, which we already briefed. That's for runway 5. I want to show you something real quick before we go much further. We have a little under 6,000 foot runway. This is for a Dash 8, and it's for a Dash 9. I don't have the Dash 10, which we're in, but you can see we're landing at around 390,000 pounds. A Dash 8 would be about a 4,700 foot landing roll, and that's for max manual braking, flaps 30. For max auto brake, which we'll do, it's flaps 30 for the 900. I don't have 10. 1,000 feet, 400, somewhere around 6,000. You got to collect no reverses yet, and tailwinds, things like that. The point being, it's going to be tight. I keep this with me. These are my landing data for when I fly the 7-8. I also have a little flap speed. Flap placards are down below, but they're hard to read, so I don't want to overspeed any flaps. Anyway, we're getting ready. We've been cleared for the arrival. Because we've been cleared to descend, we're going to come back inside, take a look at the flight plan. There it is, top of descent. We can put in the bottom altitude of the star. We're not clear for the approach. Let me get this airplane straightened out here. There we go. Nice. Here's the mountains we're going to descend into Queenstown. Okay, back inside. How do we know what altitude we're going to? Well, the bottom altitude is on the arrival is Babu, 10,000. Now it's gonna, the airplane thought it was gonna be at 14 here, so it's gonna probably level off at 12 to meet this altitude. We'll slow it down to 220, get the flaps out. But that's a Babu, so 10 is in the window because we're cleared for the arrival. And descent via in the U.S. But let's say they cleared us for the approach here, down to 2,300 feet. We could actually, right now, they said you're cleared for the Elru 2 Alpha for the RNAV Zulu, runway 5. LNAV 2 Alpha, Iowa Zulu 2. We can actually put in all the way down here. $2,300 feet, the bottom number, which is the DA on the approach, if you remember. Now the airplane is going to descend here in just a second. I would make a PA to the flight attendants, look up the ATIS. Let's look up the ATIS. It's about to start down. There it goes. See the RNAV, RNP. The reason this is in amber right here, right now, shouldn't be, right? It's because we've hard tuned, if you remember it, on Frog Pave 4. we hard tune 125 for the final approach portion. Right now the RNP is 400 and it's 2 miles, so that's why it's saying, oh, I can't be that specific right now. Well, that will grow, the airplane will grow into it. And we're flying right along with this RNAV. Because we've checked the waypoints and we know they're correct, we can just watch these two. We don't have to keep going to the box and saying, okay, our next descent. Some guys do. You don't have to. You've already checked it. Both of you have gone through the box, confirmed it against the charts. Now you can just concentrate on your PFD. Helps you to fly the airplane a little better. I'm going to put the HUD up before I forget, all right? That's required to be up for final. All right, we're descending. We tell them we're out of flight level 360. I'm going to go ahead and just get some of the stuff going on here. Make a PA to the people, turn the seatbelt sign on. Out of 18 to get the lights. We'll turn those eyes now because we're going to be concentrating. Won't start the APU yet. And descent check, please, Bobby. Recall. Hitting the switch. Nothing comes up. That's good, right? Auto brakes. We're going to go. Let's do max auto, guys. By the way, we would look for heated up brakes. We're going to land at about 390,000 pounds. We've done our data somewhere around 6,000 feet. So the landing data has flare distance built in. I think it's 1,000 feet down the runway. But we'll try to put it down in the first 1,000 feet, definitely. Landing data is completed. We talked about that. Approach fleet. We talked about that ad nauseum. I feel like that was a long time ago, but for you guys, it was just a couple of minutes ago, wasn't it? And we talked about our landing data on the descent. We've got that set up in our VNAV page at 15,000, flight level 150. And let's check the weather. We'll go here, let's hiatus. Flight. And weather. Oh, didn't want to do that. Sorry about that. Weather. No ATIS. No METAR, but it's a TAF. And the winds are 010, a little bit of a headwind, scattered clouds, 251, and we'll just assume the altimeters are the same as they were when we left, which is 1018. All right, guys, that's it. Now we're just watching it. And I'm telling you, right here, let's see how it's flashing a little bit. Sometimes when it's flashing, it tells you you need more drag, but it doesn't. Now you can walk along here and go, yeah, our next one is Kaslu. But basically, because you've already checked it and checked it and checked it again, remember we caught that mistake here, right? I think it's going to level off at a Babu at 12 because it thought it was going to be at 13.7. Oh, I wanted to mention that to you. Big thing. RNAV arrivals into the weather. You definitely want to be slow and dirty if you can. Some of those, you have to watch them. Some of those descent paths are really steep. And if you're clean and hot, you have a heck of a time getting down. So I meant to mention that to you. So we'll be dirty earlier than we normally would, because as we make that turn into the mountains, step on down, it can get a little bit sporting. First flap speed is 260, we're at 280, but we can't put the flaps down above 20,000 feet, according to the operating manual. I'm not sure if that's Boeing or my airline. Remember, I never flew this thing. It's pretty, isn't it? It's the arrival. I flew pretty much everything else American Airlines. The 7.2 as an engineer, 7.3 and 7.5, 7.6 and 7.7 as a captain. Super 80 as a captain, the Czech airman. MD-11 as a co-pilot, Airbus A300-600, which is the 310 cockpit as an FO. I have 21,000 hours in the Air Force, nothing sexy, tweets, and a little bit of tankers. KC-135. So that's Boeing 707. Kind of a Boeing guy. I do have videos on the Phoenix A320, Warbirds, all sorts of things on my website, but I've tried to concentrate on what I know for the instructional. I know I'm in touch with, that's what I bring to the game, right? All right, so we get back in here. We're flying along with the bird, right between the bars, which is where you need to be. Feels good. If you want to double check it, see how it's green now? It's able to meet the 125. Yeah, speed's coming back nicely. I'm not worried about, there's actually no mandatory speeds for a while. First mandatory speed is 220 at ASOBO on the approach. All right, so the people are notified, seatbelt signs on. We got max on the auto brakes. Let's see if maybe we don't need the speed brakes. Let's get those armed. Always a challenge. Come on, baby. Yes! And that comes and goes. Hey, want to see something interesting? Watch this. Oh, you're going to make a liar out of me. Sometimes when I go to this view, the spoiler lever disappears, so do the throttles. Not today. All right, it's coming down nicely. We're maintaining it. It's meeting all our altitude restrictions. Yeah, the only time I think it's going to not continue the descent, because we're so far below at ASOBO to make that 12 to 10 on where we would be on the RNAV approach. I think it's going to level at 12 and then catch it from there. Other than that, I think it's going to pretty much continue a nice descent. That's my guess. I hope I remember to start the flight control replay, although it's showing disconnected. Let me do this. There we go. Now it's connected. Because I'd like to film the landing, because it ought to be interesting, right? 6,000 feet, max auto brakes. Yikes. All right, it's starting to turn here at T-Box. They send us over to approach. We have information Foxtrot. Made that up. And we're up passing flight level 210. And we're cleared for the ILS to 5. RNAV Zulu to 5. Get tower preset on the other side. That's it. Feeling kind of caught up now. How long till we land? We go to Prague. Present time is 32. We're landing at 49, so 17 minutes to landing. Looking at this video right now, we've been recording 38 minutes, so that's 52. Another 8 minutes to get to the terminal, play around with the drone, about an hour video. Don't forget to subscribe. Remember, it's down here, it's my face. Just click on it and subscribe. That'll help us out a lot. Really appreciate it if you guys did that. We're right in the bar, in the green here. I love this stuff. It's fun. Hey, it is only 6:43 in the morning. So the deal I kind of worked out with my wife, I didn't just retire, she retired with me, is that I do it in the morning before she got up. And once she got up, I'd be done for the day, we do our thing. It doesn't always work out. For instance, Benji and I, who runs my Discord, a friend of mine, are going to fly from London Heathrow to JFK on Saturday. And I'm gonna record it. You're welcome to come with us, guys. And I think we're leaving at East Coast time, 9:30 takeoff, 8:30 sign in online, and we're going to do that. But that one I had to get special permission to do. So at cruise, I'll go back, take a break, we'll do our stuff at home. Kind of got to balance the house. I'm not the best immersion, guys, because I have my little face up in the corner, right? I have my little face down in that corner down there. I talk a lot. I make hand signals. I'm not one of those guys that you're going to come to and go, wow, I feel like I'm really in the airplane. I'm going to be one of those guys that you come to and go, I learned something today, and this guy knows what he's talking about. But they have 21,000 hours. That's the only reason. Where you come in is helping me, correcting things I say, but helping me with my production any way you can. I just posted a video of my introduction and conclusion for my videos. If any of you guys are good at editing and want to drop it on my Discord page, I would appreciate it. It's not bad, but it could probably be better. All right, here we go. If you're interested in the box, we get the lights on around 18. Box above 13 at Marga, and there it is. It says above 13 right there. We're out of 16, so we're looking good. We're down below 20, so if we needed flaps, we could slow down below 260 and start getting it. Matter of fact, I'll bring this and I'll manually override it, and I'll put in 250. So if we need flaps 1, we're there. And if you want, on the descent page, it's not going to let me do that. What I was going to say is you can put in 250, but I don't want to do this Mach thing. It's not like this in the airplane. You would have to put in like they don't have to put the Mach in, so I'm not gonna play that game. We'll just do a speed intervention on the remote control panel, and we're doing 250. So I'd rather be slow than it doesn't always work out. Hey, look at this missed approach down here. That's why you want to be all cleaned up, especially in the weather, and that's from 1,000 feet field elevation, climbing up to 10,000. Big looping left-hand turn and climbing in LNAV and probably VNAV. Minimum set 2,300. Remember, I talked to you about before the FAF. You definitely want to. Oh, I should have saved that, shouldn't I? The taxi, I should have saved that. We never talked about taxi. After landing, runway 5, yikes, right? Here's the terminal over here, so Alpha 6, Alpha 5, weight bearing, it can do it. 7-4 cannot, this one can do it. Maybe get off at Alpha 6, otherwise we'll have to do a turnaround, 150 foot runway. They like you to use this pad right here. We'll see where we stop. If I get down early on the brakes, we might even make Alpha 5, taxi on into the gate somehow, and get over there. And the parking positions, come in Alpha 4, Alpha 5 to one of these. We'll find our way over there, do a little GSX and have a little fun, right? All right, we're out of 15. We got the altimeter warning, or advisory. 1018, 1018, 1018. They complete, that should complete the approach checklist. And that's it. Right now we're planning on touching down 11 minutes from now. So this is going to be the exciting part. Yeah, I think ASOBO, before I put in the altitude, it wanted to be there at 13.7. So I think when it gets to ASOBO, it's probably going to level off at 12 instead of continuing the descent because it didn't want to be that low. That's my guess, is what's going to happen. And remember, we're supposed to be at 220 at ASOBO. So start doing that. Bring the speed back. That's below our flaps up speed. We're below 20,000, below 260, flaps 1. Here they come. And flaps 5 is below 250. So I usually like to give it 10 knots. There's 240. I'm going to go flaps 5. Give it plenty of drag to make all these restrictions. Otherwise, you'll get more drag required. There it is. I bet it levels off at 12. It says at or below. Should probably level off at 12 at ASOBO. Maybe it'll continue a nice descent. We shall see. Pretty, huh? Into the mountains we go. Yeah, so I do this for my subscribers. When you guys ask me to do something, I make every effort to do it. So I do appreciate you. You take good care of me. So I try to take care of you and your wishes and brief you on things that you want to brief. I try to answer every single comment. I try to get on Discord and interact with you guys while you interact. Really appreciate you being over there on Discord too. I really do. You guys are cool. Really neat stuff. All right, so we're leveling at 12 at Ababu. There it is. And then we have to be above 10 at the next one. See that? So it's hanging up here because it's thinking I would have been at 12 here. So it's going to hold up, and probably when it gets to somewhere in here, you'll see the DNAV pop back up. What's important is that it's still in path here. So don't panic if it's still in path. It knows where it is. Somewhere right about here, it's probably going to, let's see. Yeah, it's probably going to start, you'll get the bars back and it'll start down. Now, seating the flight attendants in the mountainous train, there it goes. And here's the bars back, the RNP, right? And it's in, it's good. Matter of fact, flaps 15 is 215. I'm going to bring this back. I know that's slow, guys. But I'm going to bring it back to about 20. Let's flaps 1 speed just to say 205. Definitely want to give it plenty of drag. I like to keep the heading bug slewed around as well. Matter of fact, I'm going to bring that all the way around, heading 050 for the final approach, just in case we end up in a heading situation. The bug is in front of us. Otherwise, sometimes you end up turning the wrong way. You know what I mean. All right, below 215, we can go to flaps 15. I'm going to bring the speed back about 190 because we are right on the course. We're out of 10. I've chimed them, right? Flight attendants prepare for landing and dinged them. Let's take a look at the box. How far do we have to go? 25 miles and about 7 minutes, 6 minutes. Remember, 6,000 foot runway. Got to get it down, stop, somehow turn around, we'll get you to the terminal. I've got to remember to do the landing. You know? Why not just do that now, right? What am I doing? And I'm going to call this, what's the name of this place? NZQN. NZQN. Save. Record. I don't know if it's recording. It doesn't say recording here. NZQN 1. All right, well, I think it's recording. We'll find out. Can't have it all, guys. All right, we're turning final. Remember, the big one for me is 3,100 feet. I want to get that 10,000 feet set in up here because otherwise it'll level off when we get down lower. Where are we on the approach? Let's take a look outside. Look at this. The runway's out here, guys. So the approach brings you in and you take it over and make your landing out here on that little runway. Come on, this is cool. Yeah, if I take it out a little, you can see the little jog right here, around there. But I want to keep it in a little closer so I can see the runway when the time comes. I'm going to leave it at this on runway heading because on final, that's where I'd be more likely to need it. I want to be completely stabilized at Amugo, 3,100 feet. I'm going to be on speed. So that's in 9 miles. 2 plus 7 is 9 miles. I won't mess with the weather, but you can imagine doing this in the soup, how interesting it would be. Isn't it beautiful? We're going to do the terminal tour. Hopefully I'm recording this for the landing. That's not a big deal. Trying to spice up my presentation. A little bit better intro, a little bit better exit. Show the landings. Use Volanta to see what the touchdown rate was. Might not be too good. And all that. So let's take a look in here. Speed brakes are still arm, auto brakes are max. Recheck the speed. 145 is good, so 150 on final. All right. Mungo is in 6 miles. I want to be at 3,100 feet and configured. We're at above 3,100, so I'm going to go gear down. Flaps 20. And when I get landing flaps, start bringing the power this back. $150, what a mine, huh? All right, so we go all the way to landing flaps because we're below 170. And I can put in 150. And we have full, Bobby, for landing checklist is complete. Thank you, Bobby boy. He actually likes that. See how we're doing. Coming down here after we go by Mumbo. Right now it's still staying on the track on the VNAV, RNAV, looking good. Once we pass Mumbo, I'm going to set in 10,000 up here. You have to be past the FAF and at least 300 feet below the missed approach altitude, which today is 10,000, in order to set that in. Otherwise, it will start climbing. So once we pass Mumbo, it's no longer magenta. It's not the active waypoint. We will do all that. Let's take a look. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, I love this stuff. Back inside, Mumbo is 1 mile away. Get ready. Remember, there's only 3,100 down to 2,300. There's only 800 feet to get that altitude out of there. Otherwise, it will level off. And we're required to go missed approach. We'll be going around Toga, flaps 20, Pause brake gear up, set missed approach altitude to 10. If it does level off at 2,300. Of course, you can take it over visually too. Looking at Mumbo, I'm going to stay right in here until we pass it. Flyer. Pippers right inside, looking good. There it is, right on the back. Everything is lined up perfectly. Right now, that's plus or minus 75 on final. There's Mumbo, so I can reach over here. All right, 10,000's in there. So it ought to descend right down. We'll let it fly until we get on final. Get this down here where we can see everything, right? It's going to make the turn. Yeah, if you didn't put that 10,000 in for the missed approach, when it hit 2,300, which is momentarily, when it said minimums, it'll level off. In our company, in the weather, you're required to miss approach immediately. All right, it's making the turn on the RNAV approach. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. There's a runway right there. Look at that, how beautiful. Remember field elevations, we're only 1,000 above the ground here.
1,000.
Stable. Look, I'm gonna let this thing line up just so you can see it did it. Look at this. How beautiful, guys. It's lining us up on final. Man, there's some smart people out there. Look at that. All right, I hate to even do it, really. Autopilot's off.
500.
Still getting good glide path. Looking for the Vazzies here. I need to get on center line, don't I? Center line, center line. Center line's your friend. A little bit red over white. A little bit flopping around here. Not my best transition to land.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Let's put it down. On the runway be best. Go to full reverse. Auto brakes are off. $60 knots. Transition to land. Nah, not so hot. Not so hot. All right, flaps up after landing. Let's try to go over the terminal. Remember, I downloaded that bad boy. I need more runway than this to turn around, so that's something we can't do. I know I didn't see any notes that this taxiway was not weight bearing, Alpha 6. I did for the 7.4, but not necessarily for the, there's no way. No way. Yeah, we're not doing that. So we're going to use this little guy here. It says we're able to take that. I don't think so. Tapping the brake. Trying to stay on the taxiway. Outboard engine, but the right one up, the left one back. Challenging, huh? Yeah, the minimum turnaround distance, you have a 150-foot runway, but the minimum, you see that pad is no bigger than the runway, otherwise we would use it. I think you need 176 on a big airplane like this. Probably weren't legal to do it. You can do it, but you're using a lot of brake when you do it. All right, bring the left one up. Very cool. Very cool. Bring this over, taxi. 10-9. We're going into the ramp, probably all the way up at Alpha 4. Yeah, this taxiway, I don't know, guys. Look at that thing. I don't trust it. So I'm going to go up to Alpha 4, which probably isn't legal. I didn't see anywhere in the notes, though. You take a look. I think I said something about a 7.4. That might have been when I was researching it. But we'll come up to Alpha 4. And that was cool. Yeah, so on the transition to land, I came drifting over. That's not good. I did get it on the runway. Touchdown was okay. We got it stopped in time. We'll take a look at all that stuff as we get down further. Keeping all my lights on until I'm off the runway. Going all the way down to Alpha 4. This looks like promising right here, right? Oh, you know what we're going to do? I'm going to go up here and do this while I'm waiting. Tell tower we were stopping here. Start the APU. Right, we'll get the lights off now. And we'll be ready when we get there. All right, let's go back outside. Taxi on in. Try to find some place that can handle this big mama. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. We'll take a look at the landing, don't worry. Once we get the airplane unloading. Looks like off to the left there's the terminal. I did, when I was doing the research, I saw that Air New Zealand flew in here. I think I mentioned it with A320s. They had pictures of a 7.5 landing in here. This, because really with the displaced threshold, we're less than 6,000. I don't think this airplane is certified to go into anything less than like 7 on a Dash 10. I know the 777 was 7,000, but we don't need that stuff, right? It's special, very special. And there's no jet bridge, it's all hard stand. Queensland. So we're going to fly around here. Don't let me forget that too, because I bought the airport package, which I think you're seeing here. Pretty spectacular. Yeah, look at that taxiway. No way. No way. Yet there weren't any notes that we couldn't fly taxi on it that I saw. Looks like they're building a new taxiway here. That'll be good. I think gate 5 will be just fine. Get it turned around here. Get it in here. It ain't pretty, Pa. It ain't pretty. But it's pretty cool. Let me go to the side and see where we are on this. Come up a little more. And I'll go up all the way just to clear the taxiway as much as possible. Over here. Will that be enough room? Go up a little more. See, no one else will be able to go around it. Okay, brakes apart. And seatbelt sign. Seatbelt sign is off. How do you know if the APU is running? Because you look here, APU is running, and because of that, you can chop the engines, both of them. Parking checklist, please. Secure checklist. And my flow on this airplane is to go all the way to the upper overhead, turn off the emergency exit lights. They're off, and then they turn the window heat off. You turn the hydraulic pumps off, right to left, so there's no fluid transfer. You turn off the pumps. This one's going to stay on because of the APU. Oh, look at, they already plugged in external. These guys are good. So we'll get the APU shutting down here. And we can turn the packs off. It's perfect temperature out there for the people. And then we come down here, we turn the beacon off. Bobby boy turns off the flight directors. Bobby boy goes to the upper overhead. We do accuracy, make sure everything's good. Turn off the left IRUs, right IRUs. And let's take a look at the checklist. This is shutdown checklist, parking brake. They like you once it's shocked to leave. Flaps didn't come all the way up. You know what? You know what? Bobby. I asked almost nothing. I know. I should have caught it too. I don't like to get upset with Bob. He's actually a really good guy. And in the end, it's me anyway, isn't it? Yep. Yep. and the secure check is complete. It's done. So now, most important thing, because nothing's going on out there because they're afraid of us, we're going to get GSX going. But before I do, and I better do that. Better let these poor people off the airplane. Request deboarding.
The boarding requested.
Come to stairs, everything's going. And you know what? It never recorded. It never recorded. That's so disappointing. Yeah, it won't load. Too bad. That's all right. Won't get to do it. How about Volanta? We'll see what the touchdown was. Review your flight. Survey says wasn't pretty, wasn't pretty. Minus 380, not great. 1G. I don't have to apologize for that one. Not a short runway. Maybe Bob will apologize for me.
Passengers bus is coming.
All right, the bus is coming for the packs. All right, checklist is complete. We'll fly around a little bit as promised. Sideways drone. Let's have some drift in my stick. We want to go into the terminal. This is the Queenstown airport pack. We can go into the tower. Hi guys. Father Time with Air New Zealand. Nice gig here. There we are. Wonder how much detail's in here.
Passengers deboarding starting.
See if the inside is done. Oh, look at this. Look at this, guys. Nice job. How cool is this? Oh, I should say by the people. Oh, sorry about that. Get myself fired. Well, thank you, folks. I'm the smallest captain ever. I better move here. That ain't good. Bye, guys. Love you. Thanks for flying with us. Thanks for flying on Father Time. Get out of the way, Captain. Hey, old man, out of the way. Oh, sorry, man. Yeah, I know. Nice job, guys. Oh, see the people getting off from the back. Just keep it moving, keep it moving. You got to be kidding me. I can go on the bus, too? You got to be kidding me. That is just beyond cool. All right, how about this terminal? Can you go in this one? You sure can. All right. What a nerd I am. Queenstown, New Zealand. Father Time. With my new introduction and conclusion, demonstrating a mountainous terrain arrival into a very short runway. Not my best landing, but not too bad. We got it done. Came through there, right? We came in there and landed, rolled out, and unfortunately it didn't record.
Passengers bus is coming.
All right, guys. Thanks again. Welcome to Queenstown. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Father Time's out. Thanks for taking good care of me. I'll try to do whatever I can for you. See ya.